Today I'm going to be doing a maintenance on this Scotsman under-counter ice machine. The only thing I've done so far is I've unplugged the machine and I've taken all the ice out. I've also changed the water filter, but for maintenance purposes, I've not really done all that much. I'm going to start by taking off these two front panels and I'm going to take off this top lid. So there's just two screws here that come out, one here and one here, and this should come off. And then back here, there's a screw here, here, and there, and then this will lift up and you can remove this top piece. Apologies, I always forget there's a finger screw here and a finger screw here. You have to get this down to where that notch is, and then you should be able to lift this up and out, and that'll slide out of place. And then, like I said, there's a screw here. You just grab it and loosen that up, as well as a similar one on that side. Now you can simply lift that up and out of the way, and that gives you a lot more access to clean whatever it is you need to clean. Now that my top panel's removed, I'm gonna just start disassembling this area here to clean it. There are cleaning instructions located right here. I'm not gonna follow that procedure basically at all. I am gonna run it through a clean when I'm done, but it's more important for this area to get clean because I've got this slime buildup and whatnot. So I'm gonna run my clean cycle at the end in case there's any little bit of leftover slime particles. That clean cycle will wash everything down the drain. So disassembly is what I'm gonna be doing. We're gonna start with easiest thing first, which is the water curtain. Just push that in and that comes right out of there. And as you can see, that's what we're trying to get rid of, all this nasty slime. Next, we're going to take out the distribution tube, which wasn't actually in there securely, but if it was, you would just pinch these two tabs, slide that out, and lift that up out of the way. And as you can see, we're gonna be getting rid of all this nasty buildup. You can go ahead and remove your ice thickness probe, just pinch it together, and it should come out of there just like that. And I'm gonna set it up there. Next, I'm gonna remove my water pump and my water float. I'm gonna cut this zip tie, and I've already shut off my water right over there. You're gonna wanna press that in and pull out, just a regular John Guest fitting. Let me cut this and unplug that. Then I'm gonna have to remove this little black hole saver, whatever it's called. I think you just squeeze it together and you can pop it right out through the back, and that's all it is. So you can do that one, and there's another one down there, and then you're gonna grab this little retaining clip and pull that out of there. If I can get it to work for me. That little retaining clip. All that does is there's like these little plastic clips that clip around this water pump housing, and that little metal clip just keeps it in place so that the water trough doesn't sag down and all the water leaks out. So my two black hole savers are out, metal ring is out. We're gonna get these little tabs to release, and just like that. And then as you can see, now that it's out, water is gonna be leaking over this front edge. There might be one or two more things holding this up, but essentially just grab it and lift it up and pull it out towards you. This water transport tube is still holding it in place. Like I said, I figured I was gonna miss something. Pull out this temperature probe, and then you can pull the hose off of the water pump. Easier if I had two hands. Let's see, so just like that. And then you can pull that water pump out, and that way we can get all underneath there and clean out this nastiness. So I thought I was gonna be able to take out the water tray while the storage bin was still on, but there's some screws back buried and this wall's in the way. So I think I'm gonna have to pause my disassembly here and go ahead and remove this storage bin. The way I'm gonna do that is I'm just gonna loosen this guy off, take it all the way off, and I'm going to disconnect the storage bin drain line, which is right here. And I believe there's possibly a screw here. Yeah, right here, and same on that side. Now you can basically just lift this up and slide it forward and get it all the way out of your way. So it turns out I was wrong. I thought that screw needed to be removed for this water tray to come out, but it's actually just that one, and I can actually do that from the front. The reason why I wanted to leave the bin on is because there's not a sink in this room, and I wanted to wash everything inside the storage bin and have it go down the drain. But looks like since I already have this open, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this step over with, which is clean the drain line out, check my dump valve, and clean my condenser. And then we'll put everything back together. I'll also run a brush through this line, and I'll run a brush through this section as well. And then I'll put the storage bin back in and then remove the water tray so I can clean this area and have everything run down the drain. Dump valve inspection is pretty easy. There's an arrow on top that says which way to twist it to open. You just twist it and then pull that up and out. You might have some water shoot up out at you, but it's not that big a deal. That's good. There's nothing down inside there that's going to either block my drain or cause this plunger to stay up. If this plunger is stuck in the up position, water is going to constantly be going down the drain, and you're never going to freeze anything to your evaporator. So we're just going to go ahead and throw that back on there. Same way you got it off, just opposite direction, and that's locked into place. I'm not going to show you, but just I'm going to run some brushes through here. I'm going to brush this out and blow it out with some air, and then I'm going to throw the storage bin back on, and we'll go back to working up in this area. All right, storage bin's back in. Now I'm going to go back to what I should have done before. Take this screw out, and this water trough should come out of place. So it fell forward, and I think you just lift it up and slide it out. I can't recall, I don't do these all that often. Just like that. Now we can clean out this nastiness. I'm also gonna take off this top rail, these two screws. It'll make it easier to clean everything if this isn't in the way. So just take out that screw and that screw, and that'll just lift up out of the way. And now we're just gonna get to scrubbing. Oh, something else super important. This water sensor right here should get scrubbed. Otherwise, you run the risk of your machine not working properly. And I don't know why I'm having such a hard time getting it out. Yeah, clean those off and then put it back in. This area has been cleaned. I ran my hose through here. I also cleaned all underneath here and along this side, rinsed everything down with some water. I'm gonna sanitize this area with just regular ice machine sanitizer. And then I'm gonna clean parts one by one and put it back together. This piece has been cleaned. I'm getting ready to put it back in. I also cleaned and put that top rail back in. To put this in, it can be kind of tricky at first. There's these little plastic tabs on the backhand side that kind of clip onto that back wall. You're gonna want to just kind of land it home. So there's similar clips, just like this one, all along the back wall. And it literally just clips in there. And then this one screw over here on the right holds it in place. And then the water pump holds this side up and in place. And we'll clean that next and put that back in. The water pump has been cleaned and sanitized and put back into place. I connected my water. I'll connect the power here in a second, but I wanted to show you this. This right here can be a little tricky. These little plastic tabs have to go up and into the water pump, just like I had it, but I wanted to show you how it kind of locks in there. So just like that. There's two of them, and then you're gonna take this clip. This clip is essentially just going to fill in the gap between the plastic part that holds the water tray and that plastic clip so that it can't come unclipped. So it's just kind of like a retaining clip for the plastic clips there. When cleaning this water distribution tube, make sure you take the top of it off so you can clean inside and clean the underneath side of this. And it just kind of clips on top of it, almost like a Tupperware or a plastic container. And then this end clips right inside of that hole, just like that, and then slides into place. And then you can go ahead and connect your water line. So let's not forget about the ice thickness probe. This has some calcium buildup on it, and this is the water level probe. We're gonna go ahead and spray these surfaces with some ice machine descaler and let it soak. You don't wanna get them too wet, especially up where this wire is. Otherwise it's not gonna work properly. But just spray it with some descaler, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then get to scrubbing, and then we'll throw that back in place. Got my water probe in there. Ice thickness probe is put back. Make sure this wire is nice and loose, there's no tension on it. Otherwise, this will get caught up and it won't work correctly. We're gonna go ahead and scrub the last piece, and then storage bin, and we're gonna run it through a clean cycle. We're all put back together. I relocated this to try to keep it from getting caught up on anything. I forgot to mention there's a water temperature sensor right here. Make sure it gets shoved inside that hole. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in and throw this into clean mode. It was previously on, so I'm gonna need to make sure that I turn it off. So it's off now. I don't know why it's blinking 0, but it's supposed to be off. Let me press and hold it. See if that shuts it off. Okay, so now we're off. We're gonna just go ahead and throw it into clean mode and go ahead and add our descaler. It might actually go through an initial harvest. We'll just have to wait and see what it does. I think it's dumping water right now. There is no initial harvest on this machine. I'm gonna go ahead and add my ice machine sanitizer to the water trough. I would normally run descaler as well, but scale doesn't seem to be as big of an issue on this machine as the slime buildup. So I'm just gonna do sanitizer this go around. Like I said, there's not a big issue with scale, so I'm not gonna waste time doing all that. So part of the clean process was when you initially put it into clean mode, the sanitize descale light, it flashes on and off, and then you're supposed to press the clean button again. The light will go to solid yellow, which just means it's gonna fill with water and flush and fill with water and flush. After it does that for about 10 minutes, you're just gonna turn it off, and then you can turn it on, and it'll just go into ice making mode, time your cycle, see if it ice looks good, and see if it drops ice. While this thing is making ice, I went ahead and cleaned out my storage bin. I'm gonna sanitize everything so that we don't have any more of that nasty growth show up. I'm gonna actually leave and go to lunch. When I come back, hopefully this thing had dropped some ice. Like I said, I'm still gonna time a cycle, and I just have to take off for right now. I'm confident that this thing is gonna run really well while I'm gone. I just got back from lunch, and it looks like we've made ice. Got a good bridge thickness on this. I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting this thing all back together. If y'all are interested in more videos on ice machines, check out my channel, Ice Machine 411. Thanks for watching.